Well, me and Mum are here. We didn't do anything last week, did we?
No.
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 We had
Sadly, you didn't.
no. We had old Serge up. We've been doing a load of home repairs. We've got quite a big balcony on the back of the house, and the guy that built it 20 years ago, he didn't do a bad job, but we had some bits needed replacing. So old Serge came over, and we did a load of running around, didn't we, to get
To get the necessary wood.
get the necessary bits to do that. Anyway, so that's what was going on last weekend. So we didn't really do anything, and to be honest, like, we're running out of material here. So anyway, as you can probably see here, we've got a picture up here from David Wayne's YouTube channel, which is absolutely brilliant. Nice one, Dave. But what we're going to do before we go there, we're going to pull out a couple of things here. This Serge, this is Serge's news report, and the way the screen's recording, it's on Science Daily. But before we go on this, and you can read this while we're yakking, right? Tomorrow is polling day. It's polling day, which is, as you know, is an electoral thing, right? Is that right?
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Yeah.
Local.
Local, right?
Yeah.
Well, as you know, you guys and girls that listen to all this, we don't vote, right? But on this particular thing, we are. Well, I'm not, because I'm not registered to vote here, but
Mum is.
But Mum is. So we're actually going up to the Mairie tomorrow to put our name down. And what it's to do with is that what they're trying to do here, apparently, is all the small communes and villages. They want to get rid of. They basically want to get rid of the
mayors,
the mayor, the local mayor, and the people that work at the Mairie. So. And they're all sort of like, I don't know whether our mayor gets paid or whatever, but everybody else pretty much volunteers. So our farmer Jean, a bunch of people, and we've known them for years. So we don't want to lose that, because we do not want our area handed over to middle management, which is the next step up to the top of the creepy pyramid, right? So if they get rid of our local group, we will then be controlled by what do they call it? The concierge general. Mum will explain that. What is all that? Go on, tell them.
As you said, he's the next step up towards the big knobs in Paris.
To the criminals. In Paris, right? So that's up near old. So we're heading up towards Macaroon, that dodgy old character. And talking about him, it's quite funny. We were going to go on a little bit about some music stuff, because we saw the other day that old Stella McCartney, massive forehead, Stella McCartney, just got given some kind of award in France. For what? Right? I mean, literally, like the Golden Key. I thought that was interesting, but we'll go into that later. We'll do a thing about that later on another little chat, because it just shows you how they're all intertwined. So yeah, so tomorrow we're going to do this thing, because we want our group here, because they're all farmers and everything, to continue to run this area, and not hand it over to Suit and Tie Brigade, do we?
That's right. Yeah.
So that's what's going on tomorrow, and I've been on a music front. I think I said in one of our last things, I got conned into doing this Fête de la Musique thing, which is massive now, all over France. 27 countries. No, 27 countries. I don't know. Anyway, 127 countries do this. But it'd be the first time I've played out live since 2014, and I've got to do it on my own to backing tracks of people that I've worked with. So I've been practicing, and it's been quite hard work, but that's another story. Anyway, on to the good stuff, right? So old Serge sent me a couple of things yesterday, And he said, "Here, I'll have a look at this. If you're going to we were going to do a Friday night special, but we didn't bother, and we're doing a Saturday special instead, which will probably come out on Sunday." So he sent me this. Science Daily thought this was funny. A massive asteroid hit the North Sea and triggered, here's your numbers, guys, 330-foot tsunami. Right? This is from a university, of course it is. A long-running debate about the Silver Pit crater beneath the North Sea has finally been resolved. Thank you, men and women in white jackets with pens in your pockets. Scientists now confirm it formed a roughly 160-metre asteroid struck the seabed about 43 to 46 million years ago. New seismic imagery and rare shocked minerals in rock samples provide the crucial proof. The impact would have sent a massive plume skyward and unleashed a tsunami of over 100 metres high, 330 feet high. So there you got 43 and 46 million. Why not 45? So you've got 3 sixes, 666, and then you've got 330 feet, right? Here's all your numbers there, right? So, as we said, first off, how would you even know what happened 3 million years ago, right?
Yes.
The absolute shit that these clowns keep pushing out.
How could they measure it?
Oh yeah, how would you even know?
Tape measure.
Right, send us some pictures. Go down there in your little diving bubble and send us some pictures. Anyway, we thought that was funny. And then what else did he send us? You're going to love these guys. Right, here's another one, right? These are all the last couple of days, and I thought it was kind of interesting that there would be 120 euro pair of certain manufactured with an N training shoes directly underneath this more nonsense. And I can't see what this came out of, but here's another one for you guys. An asteroid previously used by NASA. So apparently NASA, the snaked tongue organisation, has been using an asteroid for a planetary defence test and has successfully shifted onto a slightly altered path around the sun. Scientists report on Friday, and they're those same people again, in those white coats that you see with those protective glasses and COVID masks on, right, reported on Friday. This landmark achievement could pave the way for diverting potentially hazardous space rocks in the future. The deliberate alteration marks the first instant of a celestial body solar orbit being internationally changed. Crucially, the asteroid impacted by NASA's DART spacecraft never posed a threat to Earth. Now, isn't it funny how they can do all this stuff apparently, and we know it's all a bit of a giggle, right? They can do all this stuff, but they can't quite get the rocket up with all those dodgy...
To reach the moon.
To reach the old moon, including that old Chris Cock, who's not, apparently he's not a happy bloke, right? Because he's got his spacesuit, but he can't go up there. Anyway, we thought that was funny. And then this one just does it for me every time. You all know this is my favourite, right? The MFA yellow and blue. Evacuation of certain citizens from the certain area, which of course where all this stuff is going on, in accordance with the instructions of President of, Volodymyr. Volodymyr, I mean, come on. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is working to ensure the safe return of said people, citizens who wish to return from. So I said to old Serge about it, and he goes, yeah, well, apparently these three were photographed in Poland, right? So, as I said, these three here, first off, no disrespect, girls, but why is it 3 girls again? Right?
Yeah, always.
It's always girls, right?
Girls,
oh, yeah. It's like hug a puppy. Oh, look, a little kitten, right? It's always the same shit, right?
But that's supposed to be an airport.
That's supposed to be an
It
airport.
doesn't look anything like an airport.
Well, it does really.
Does it?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to see the plane, but it looks. It could be a shopping mall for all we know.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. But when you look at these pictures, right, the first thing that comes to mind for me is, first off, you have no idea where these bods are, do you?
No.
Right. They could be anywhere. This picture could have been taken by three people who attended the dodgy Eurovision 2-3 years ago, whenever it was.
Oh, when the Ukraine won.
When they supposedly won, but had to rush back to fight the Russians, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be there. Old Serge, he goes, that's supposed to be in Poland, right? And it's like, well, that could be anywhere, right? Could be anywhere, right? So first question is, where on earth is this airport? Secondly, why is it 3 girls? What, no bloke? Why is there no bloke there?
Why is there nobody else about?
Right, yeah. Thirdly, there's nobody about, is there? Not a soul.
Not a soul
right?
about.
Perhaps it was a late plane. Perhaps the plane got in late, right? Like when I got stranded at the airport. Also, who carries a flag around with them? Yeah. Right? Who carries a flag around with them? Now, I've got a very nice flag downstairs that old Beto gave me. My old Joe Linterna mate from Brazil. And it's all creased up, right? So they've been given a brand new flag to stand there and have their picture taken, right? You don't know where that is, gets the old sympathy vote again. And it's a little bit like, if you guys remember the thing where we talked about the poor pouting student that had to leave Stoke-on-Trent Further Education College. Well, old Serge, he's tried to call Stoke-on-Trent up. And he can't get an answer on the phone, right? No one answers the phone, right? So anyway, we're gonna follow that one up still. But once again, it's the same old bullshit, right? And like we said, is first off, if you're out in a certain area, what are you doing there in the first place?
Yeah, why were they in the Middle East?
Yeah, and also we know, apparently, according to the news, that the ladies have a bit of perhaps a hard time out in the Middle East. So again, it's just more absolute cock and ball rubbish. And we won't even go into the nonsense that's going on in various countries, because, as me and old Serge said the other day, we've said proudly, I'm in my 61st year. He's actually in his 60th year. You're in your 91st year. All these things that you see in the news have been going on since me and old Serge were 4 and 5 years old. Nothing ever changes, right?
No.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Anyway, we thought that was funny, so we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of the old these old dodgy what's-it. Says my old mate Luch there. He sent me a little thing, a book that he's doing. So what we wanted to do was we decided we're going to go over something that's quite interesting. Of course, it's not going to do what I want it to do now. Here it goes. Right, so this is old David Wayne, who is a real boots on the ground guy.
Well worth watching.
Yeah, well worth watching.
Well worth watching.
Right,
guy.
and bear with it, because some of the things he points out, I saw some real dodgy comments from people saying what load of rubbish, but very much into the brickwork and stuff like that. So, hang on, I know what we didn't do. Oh, there we go, right. We've actually, you've been proud of us, we've actually done very, very well. We've hardly drunk anything for 3 weeks now, and I had 2 glasses of red wine last night. I woke up with a banging headache this morning.
And I had one.
Mum had one as well. Anyway, so David goes out and he does all this stuff around the sort of New Jersey area and that where he lives. And we watched this very interesting one about mausoleums. And as you can see here, we've got this incredible structure here. Let's see if it will...
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful
incredible structure. Of course,
yeah.
It's not going to do what I want it to do now, is it? Of course it's not. There you go. Right, so anyway, here he is. He's showing this incredible cemetery, which has, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of this kind of thing, and mausoleums, right? Some of them are, well, you'd have to sit down and watch it. And I will put a link in the description. And he's done a bunch of these. So a little while ago, we thought we'd have a little look into what it costs to have a mausoleum built.
In the present day.
To stick your family in, right? Which, of course, is a morbid mausoleum, right?
Oh,
okay.
God.
Anyway, as you can see, and the guy's brilliant. Nice one, Dave. Hope you see that we're giving you a big old thumbs up on this. What was quite funny with this as well is when you type in David Wayne, you also come up with this singer, David Wayne, right? Not David Wainwright, that's another name. Isn't it funny how David Wayne comes up under David Wayne and it actually says graveyard there? I thought that was interesting. I'd never seen that before. So, yeah, David Wayne, YouTube, old world stuff, what he's found down by the rivers and stuff like that is incredible, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get rid of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go on to how much does a mausoleum cost? Now, we looked at this a little while ago, and we'll get to the main point, the main structure of this. So, I think it's quite an American thing, isn't it?
I would say
Quite a stateside thing.
Yeah.
Italian. The old Italians love them, but of course,
but not to that extent.
no. And you got your Italian influence in the States and everything. So, some interesting stuff on mausoleums, and like David said, are these doorways to places and stuff like that? I don't know, but when you look at the costs, right, the basic costs of having something like this created, which this just looks like shit, doesn't it? Look at it.
Yeah. Awful.
8 crypts, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? A 12 crypt walk up mausoleum,
God,
right?
Jamie.
Okay, and like this here. Now you will see in David's stuff that the artistry and the work in some of these is insane. Not in these modern ones,
No,
in the old ones, right?
Yes.
So it says here, starting price for a private family walk-in mausoleum, costs vary widely. Private mausoleum, a 2 crypt standalone ranges from 50 grand to 125 grand. Land price and materials are the greatest factor impacting the price. Okay, now Rose Hill Burial Park. So it's a bit of a morbid subject, I know, but like we've said, when you're gone, you're gone. You're off somewhere else. Why would you even bother doing this shit in the first place? It's ridiculous, right? But this isn't to criticise other people and what they want to do. This is just to bring up the basics on if it costs this much today, like this Taj Mahal, if it costs this much today, how is it possible in 1800, 1850 to put hundreds of these things all over the United States and various other countries, and they were knocking these things out like literally like eggs out of a box, weren't they? Right?
Yeah.
So this is quite a good one here, this site, and it tells you pretty much about everything that you'd want to know. But if we go to this, I thought this was quite I thought this was funny. Eternal Mausoleums by Forever Legacy. So you got these old couple here, they're like, look dear, we're going to be over there. I thought that was quite funny, the old picture there, obviously they've been bought in. Costs of mausoleums and so on. So depending on where you look, I'll show you this picture in a minute, but depending on where you look, you're looking anything to have a standalone done from about 100 grand up, and some 250,000 to $3 million, right? To put your skeleton in, right?
What for? What for?
Pourquoi, madame? Exactly, right? But that's up to the person. That's what they want to do. That's up to them. Average cost here. So private mausoleums, as you can see here, the average cost is from 150,000 to 1 million, right? And I thought this is funny. You got this quite a nice looking older lady there. Hello. This bloke and his wife, they can't wait. Look, they got the pen out ready to sign. They've just been. It looks to me like they're in the dentist. I don't know about down at the location and everything, right? So they make all this look so kumbaya, don't they? Because these people, obviously not them, because they're like photo ops, for this. They can't sort of grasp the fact that what we're here for, and that when it's over here, it is over here. It's finished here. You're off, hopefully, somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Wherever your consciousness goes, whatever you want to call it, like Matt says, we're here at the moment to learn and to experience something. So, anyway, need help choosing the right mausoleum? Anyway, this is in Austin, Texas, right? So, I thought that was quite good. Again, another one worth looking at. So this was the one that I pulled up first off, right? So if we let's just look at this, guys. Okay, so I typed in 1850 cemeteries, private mausoleums, New Jersey, USA. Right, now you've got this, right? Look at this. This is something I would say that is out of this world, really. Okay. Now, what's the word? The arrogance in the first place to think that you are that important that this is what you need to have to mark who you were and so on and so forth. Now, from a building and construction point of view, this little, you see my little finger thingy going over here, this design here has either been stuck on or this has been machined out, the same as this has been machined out, right?
Yeah.
The frieze has been machined out. Now, there's no way, and we've been over this before, that people with chisels chip this shit out, right?
No.
Because if you did all this work and knock that corner off, you're screwed, right? So somehow they were able to machine this, and not by hand either. Like by some kind of, like that thing that Alain has that we talked about before, was able to machine this, to make this, and somehow they were able to get this thing, which I would imagine is, I would say these are probably 3/4 to life-size figures.
They look like
if you stood here, I would say that's not a small thing, right?
No.
But I just wanted to use this as an example of what they used to do then and what you can get now. Right, so hang on, come on, don't let me down here. So here's another one here. Once again, you can see that the way the writing is, that means
the size of that figure.
Yeah, the way the writing is, right, that means they've had to cut this off. They've had to shave all this off to leave that embossed sticking out, right? Now, again, you could go on forever with this, as we've said before. And David's site is definitely worth checking out because some of the things, where he is, I think this is one, was this one that he pulled up? Looks like it's got the all-seeing eye over the top, but some of these doors are incredible. So, like we said, when you look at some of these things and you go, well, how is it possible to create hundreds and hundreds of these things? Not just a few, you've got the old statue one there, whatever, right? But in this one video that he did, this one, anyway, it's gone there. There are hundreds and hundreds of these mausoleums built into the hillsides and so on. Extravagant, right? So I urge you to go and watch it because it's an interesting sujet. It's like this one here, Fairmount Cemetery. Hang on, see if we can get this one open. Ah, in Newark, right?
Yeah.
Right, to create something like this, it's not a great picture, but a bit fuzzed out. But oh, there you go. Like to create something like this to put bodies in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what does that say? Gottfried something or other. Gottfried. Yeah, Gottfried Kruger. Good old American name, right? So anyway, so we'll get rid of that. But what we'll do is we'll look at this, right? So Rome Monument. So you've got the old Roman influence in there again. So I just wanted to show you what you can get for $121,787 plus install, US only. So they're not prepared to come over here to do it, right? Anyway, here you can download the Family Monument catalogue.
You can add it to your shopping.
You can add to your shopping cart.
Will you put me one in the garden?
What were you doing? What were you doing this weekend? We were doing a bit of online shopping. We added to right. So anyway, I wanted to show you what you can get. Small private walk-in mausoleum. So this is what you can get, right? Which to me looks like a public toilet.
Oh, it's dreadful.
In the public toilet, right? So look at this. All right, John. Got a shitty old car here, an helicopter, and all this shit, right? Anyway, this is for 1 to 3 people. Let's see if we can get the larger view. Here we go. Which, of course, isn't much larger, is it?
No.
It's the same thing. But anyway, that's what you can get for 120 grand, right? Okay, from these people here. Now, when you look at that and you go back to this, right, one has to ask the question, where'd they get the money to build that, right? If this costs 120 grand. I mean, my mate bought a flat up the road for 25,000 euros. Right, that's the price of a very high-end car. The reason for, like I said, the reason for doing this was just to pull up the fact that there are these incredible structures that apparently were built in the era of horse and carts, and how you were able to move even this. Look at the height of the door. I mean, you could build a neat little apartment in that, couldn't you? Hey,
Yes.
you imagine a little mezzanine up there and all this kind of stuff. But how they were able to do this shit, and the narrative that, like you said, men in horse and carts did all this. It's absolute horseshit. Horseshit, as Matt would say, right? And it's not about falling for the trick, like Matt says. It's just very interesting stuff because when you do look at these things, and here you like I said, you take that old kiddie there, right, and then you put it up against this, and you go, there's no contest, is there, right? So anyway, we thought that was interesting. So I would, because especially as part of the old world stuff, and as we know, this is all part of everything that we're sort of seeing and that's coming to light now. What they could do then, which apparently they can't do now. So, on that note, we also said that we mentioned it a number of times, didn't we? That we were going to look into heating gas lights, right?
In the old world.
In the old world buildings. Early 1800s to 1900, right? Yeah. So, as we've said before, we live in a very large barn, right? Okay, which is I don't know, in feet, in old money, it's about 25-foot high ceilings, something like that. 3, 6, I don't know, 10 metres or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And where the studio is, there's no heating down there at all. And in the summer, it stays cool. And in the winter, it's slightly warmer because of it being on the dirt, on the tear. But keeping this place warm is very, very difficult. And we also have a lot of problems with spiders. So everything's covered in cobwebs 24/7. It's like a Charles Dickens novel here, isn't it?
It is,
right?
yeah. Clinging to the beams.
Yeah. Clinging to the beams, right?
And the stone.
Yeah, and the stonework and so on, right? So, as a lot of people have sort of pointed out, how is it possible to heat these massive buildings in the 1800s, especially in the cities? So, of course, the talk of the old tech, the antiquitech, were fireplaces really used for fire, and so on. And our suspicions, along with a lot of other people, is no, they were able to do something and use them as vents to warm these places and keep them at a constant temperature, right? So I just pulled up this one picture, which I thought was interesting, because it's only a picture, right? But anyway, as you can see, this is supposed to be Buckingham Palace, right? So it says, doesn't it? Ballroom, Buckingham Palace, 1856. All right? Now, I know it's one of those alami, just like Getty Images, them crooks. And the only pictures that you really ever get are these kind of, these renders, these... So... You're looking at, 40-foot ceiling here? It's got to be 40-foot ceiling. Our ceiling in our house comes to about here, doesn't it? When you look up at the height, and it comes in like this, right? So the question is, in 1856, what's all these lights all about then? Right? So there was no electricity then, right?
Supposedly,
1856? Supposedly, right?
And all these women with bare shoulders,
Yeah,
nothing on their arms.
Yeah, so someone will say, well, that was shot in the summer. And it's like, all right, fair play. But all these candelabras here, who lit all the candlesticks, right? Who lit all the candles, right? And by the time you got all the way round, this lot would already be burnt halfway through. And like, I can't remember who it was either Whisper Jack or one of the guys was saying that, obviously these aren't candelabras here, but you've seen a lot of buildings, these big chandeliers hanging down with candles in. What's stopping all the wax dripping down on the people underneath, dancing around and so on? So when you look at these sort of pictures and you see these fireplaces, now coming back to the barn here, we've got a 10 kilowatt wood stove and we've got a 10 kilowatt pellet stove, which we hardly use anymore. But right where the chimney goes up, everything is sooted up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this has got a door on it. It's got a door on it, right? So when you open it up and the damper's fully open, if you get a bit of a breeze, the wind blows a bit of smoke back in. Of course, above the fire, 25 feet above the ground, it's a little bit darker than the rest of the ceiling. So these old fireplaces that you see, they've got no glass on them. So all the smoke, anything blows down, it's going to blow back in. But there's never any sign of any smoke damage or anything. They've always got a painting over the fireplace and everything, right? We know the amount of dirt and shit and soot that comes out of our fire just by opening the door and putting a new piece of wood in. So I decided to, and of course some people we know, they say, oh, well, before coal they used to heat with wood gas, and I'm like, really? Okay, so can you imagine we have about what they call a cube, a square cube, a stair of wood. For the American guys, we used to have it was a cord of wood, right? And this guy brings it in his trailer with his van, and we stack it all up and everything. You never see any pictures of any stacked wood anywhere, do you?
No,
Ever.
No, nobody delivering wood.
Nobody delivering. So in
No.
Londinium or in Paris, you should see pictures of cartloads, miles long, of wood
Logs being
wood.
delivered.
If you've got the plans, I've got the wood being delivered. And then in some of these big buildings, some poor old schmuck's got to carry all this wood upstairs, right? And he's like, "Excuse me, James, would you get some more wood for the fire? We've got a party in a few hours. We need to warm up the room." Now, we know how difficult it is to keep this place warm. When the fire goes out, the temperature drops really quick, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, again, all you old world guys and girls out there, how did they heat these places? There are no pictures of wood deliveries. There are no pictures of wood piled up anywhere. So we've got 2 cube under a bit that's protected. We've got another. We had 6 cube under a tarp outside. We know what it's like cutting down trees around here, because if you've seen some of my videos, you can see they would have stripped the place bare. There wouldn't be a tree left just to heat London alone, would there?
No.
So I decided to have a quick look and see wood deliveries, right? Wood delivery for home fires in 1850, right? And this is the best it comes up with. There's a bloke delivering coal. There's a dodgy picture of here, Exeter, which is, I would say, is not in the 1800s. There are no pictures. This is as far as it goes. Look at this.
Yeah, nothing.
A dozen pictures, if that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, just over a dozen pictures.
But they're not delivering wood.
No one's delivering wood, right? Nobody is delivering wood, because they weren't using wood.
No.
To heat fires. They weren't using wood in fires to heat houses.
No.
They can't have been. And, when you see one of our favourite films is the Admirable Crichton with old, what's his name? Come on. We like the film so much. We go, Kenneth Moore. Kenneth Moore, right? Kenneth Moore. Which starts off in a stately home, and they're all turning up. It's winter, and it's lovely and warm inside, but there's no signs of wood being stacked up, piled, being brought in by the servants to do the fire. So anyway, that was quite interesting, I thought. And we've been watching the old Jeremy Brett series of Sherlock Holmes, and that spins a few yarns because, of course, I think it was Granada TV were able to recreate the 1800s, and you can see that they made a big effort of showing wooden scaffold with bits of rope tied around it, and kids picking up horse shit out the road and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you never see any wood being delivered or anything like that, right?
No.
So that was something that we sort of wanted to, and we're going to look into it more and more and more, because 20 years we've been heating with wood here, and I heated with wood in the US, so we know what it takes to heat a large volume of air. There was no way in the 1800s they were heating with solid fuels.
No.
Not in a million years.
No.
Not in a million years.
No.
Gaslighting is something that apparently we've all been gaslit, haven't we? According to...
Yeah, now when I was a kid,
Yeah, that's it, you go
after
for it,
the war, and lived with my grandmother in Jersey, we had gaslight,
Yeah,
and we had to light it every night.
indoors.
Indoors.
In the house,
Indoors, yeah. We had to light it every night, and then turn it off when we went to bed.
Yeah.
So how the hell did they do all this? By the time they'd started, it would be daylight.
Right, well...
By the time they'd finished.
Well, this picture here, I'm not really sure what's going on. What's going on? That's one of them old Webley lights. They were cool, those, weren't they?
Oh, they were. Yeah.
So we're not really sure what this picture is about, but this comes up under gaslighting, right? We've been gaslit, right? So you look at this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got all these lights. So we're supposed to be led to believe. Now I don't know when this is. He's got his Eki Thump hat on, but we're supposed to be. This story is telling us that these guys used to go around, climb up ladders. Now these might be engineers. They might be fixing them, and light all these lights, right? But like Mum just said, if you imagine that just in London alone, with the thousands of these lights, how many people did they get to do that? How did they actually go around and do that? And by the time they'd finished, it'd be time to turn them all off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's something to think about, because also knowing a bit about the old building, because I've been involved in building for years. One of the biggies was you had to be very, very careful about gas mains, right? Because if you ruptured a gas main whilst digging around in someone's garden, right, you could have a bit of a problem, right? Because gas leaks are not good. Even though you can smell gas leaks are not good. So when you look at all these stories and you look at these things about these great fires and so on, they never ever put it down to gas explosions and stuff like that. And if you've ever seen a house that's been demolished by a gas explosion, and there are a few pictures that you can find, it's not good, right? It's a bit of a mess. But here you go. You see, these blokes here supposedly went round with their ladders, and they got up and they lit these by the thousand all the way through London.
Yeah, and they carried their ladders all the way around.
Carried their ladders around and so on. And these, the bloke with a stick, some of them did it with a stick. So if he did it with a stick, he's got to turn it on first off, right? So there's got to be some kind of button to. So who laid all the gas pipe underneath all the
Yes, to run it through from one to
who
the
laid
other.
the gas pipe underneath the pavements to be able to power all these cast iron lights? And on top of that, when we talk about the old world stuff and we're looking at these buildings, the brickwork, the facades, the statues and all this kind of stuff, who made all the street lamps? Who cast all the street lamps? Who put glass in the street lamps? Right? And none of these street lamps are mediocre, are they? They're all, if we look, Gaslight street lamps, 1850, none of these, you can see in these pictures, and we got them down by our river. None of these things are what you would call mediocre. I mean, if you could get something like this and put it in your, where you got your barbecue and everything, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Look real nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? So somebody had to make all of these. What factories were turning these out worldwide? Because they're everywhere. Australia, everywhere. Somebody was turning all these out, weren't they? You know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine how much a lamp costs to buy a lamp for your fucking
Today,
living room?
they're so expensive.
Like 50
aren't
quid
they?
for a piece of plastic, right? Look at this, right? Cincinnati gas street lamps, right? I don't know. Well, these aren't necessarily old. That looks like a copy of that one there, right? But anyway, an interesting sujet because, like we said, there is no way, whatever way you want to swing it, that blokes were walking around lighting all these lights up all freaking night long. I mean, come on, look at this picture here. What's this off of? Lamplighters testing gas pressure. That guy there looks like they don't look like they're there. He's pasted in.
No.
That's not real.
No.
Look, he's too far. He's in front of that. He's
That's
got
right.
he's got a bowler hat on. He's got a bowler hat on. Let's investigate this picture here. Open image in new tab.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only a small picture. Oh, that's look, see, shit, right? But if you look at that, guys, he is not leaned up against that lamp.
No.
You see that the ladder
Is
here is in
of
front
it.
of the lamp, right?
That's right.
So this is a bogus picture. I would say this is probably like a tax inspector, and this is his mate, right? And this is leaned up against something else. This is a bogus picture.
Yeah,
I'd say this building
so
has been cut
obvious.
out. He is not there.
No.
That's bollocks again. And this is what they love to do. This is what Matt's creepy table loves to do, right? That's a classic.
Yeah.
But there's no way anybody was going and doing this. They might have done it to take some pictures. Let's have a look at this one in a new tab. Well, that's a small one as well. You see, they're naughty. See how they do this, right? So you can't zoom in. Look, and look at this. Look at this. These are two kids. They're bigger than the bloke. Look at this. This kid in shorts is bigger than this bloke here. That's been pasted in. That's a doctored picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're both standing. That's a big kid. So you can see what they do and how they've manipulated people over the years into thinking. I mean, I've been up plenty of ladders, guys, and I can tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt. Hang on, here's another one. This is great because this is we've come across these. Oh, that's even smaller. Look at this.
Yeah,
There's no way
no,
a
that
ladder.
ladder is the other side as well.
Well, not just
isn't
that,
it?
but you can't put a ladder around that way.
No.
The ladder's got to go that way. That
No.
bloke is not standing on that ladder, not
No.
like that. And also, he is way too big, right?
For that ladder.
And that's another Alamy picture, right? And what does it say there? It says a print depicting a lamplighter, right?
Yeah.
Okay? It's all horseshit. All of this is a load of old rubbish that, again, that's put out. They took these pictures back in the day. I reckon that they had some kind of power, whether it was some kind of what's it say? Some kind of other product that they basically just clicked a button and all of them lit up. Everything lit up. Anyway, so we thought that was pretty interesting because with all the stuff that everybody's looking at, I still find it quite amusing that even with I'm not saying that we're right because we're probably not, but we look at everything as if it's on mainstream, it's rubbish, don't we?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether it's a political thing, whether it's a war thing, whether it's it's rubbish, right? If it's on mainstream, it's rubbish. It's full of actors, it's full of dodgy people, and so on, right?
Yeah.
But even when we're looking at the old world stuff, and there's some of the guys we really like, you know, like old world history, old Chris, brilliant.
Oh, he's brilliant.
No ads, nice one, Chris. No ads.
He's well
Thank
worth
fuck
watching.
for that, right?
Well worth watching.
The glass. Who made all the doorknobs for these beautiful
What about
doors?
the curved glass? The curved glass on those corner buildings.
Yeah, on the corner buildings where you've got rounded,
Brilliant.
curved windows.
Absolutely brilliant.
Who makes that glass? Who doesn't break that glass, make that glass? You know, the doorknobs, the hinges, every single...
Yeah, it's not just the bricks.
It's not just the building, right?
No.
So, to a sort of end on this, this was another one. Oh, Mum loves this stuff, right? And...
Look at him up there.
Yeah, right. So we've had a lot of problems around here with cables, right? Wind blows the tree down, goes through the cable. No electric.
Cables hanging down.
Cables hanging down on the ground.
With bits of blue tape on.
With bits of blue string holding them up. The farmers go out and put them up with blue string, right? So apparently, back in these days of horse and carts, they were able to do all this. Right, so you got some knob up here, you got some bloke up here. I would say they've probably been pasted in as well. I very, very much doubt if those blokes are really there. To be
How have
honest,
they got up there?
well, I don't know, but that
There's no
that
ladder.
is a long
Yeah.
way up, and that man is very, very small, isn't he?
yeah,
Right, but using this as an example, like Mum said, look how neat everything is. Right, if this is real. Look how neat everything is, and where is all this going? I mean, if you were a bird and flew into that, you'd have an accident, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And it just happens to be, this picture just happens to be outside the electric something or other I can't quite see what it says here, but engine works, electric, gas engine works, or something like that. Oh shit, gone off somewhere else now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the
Look
point,
at the amount of cables.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
the point with this was just again to say, apparently, I mean, this is ridiculous. We won't even pull that one up. But apparently, back in the day, right, way back in the day, they were able to create these incredible networks of cables. I'm trying to find some in here that actually makes some sense, which I can't now. But they were able to they were able to create the. I mean, look at this. What is this? Is this real?
look at it.
Right. Open image. I bet that's going to be. Oh, that's a little one as well. Isn't it funny how all the ones you want to look at are really small? Right. So is this real? That doesn't look real to me. That looks like that's been. I don't know. But let's just say, for argument's sake, boys and girls, that this is real. These pictures are actually real. Look at this. Look at this, right?
Where are all these cables going?
This is in Oregon.
And what are they
right?
for?
Okay, where are all these
They
cables
can't
going?
all be for
And
electric.
if you came and had a look at our cables around here, it's a joke, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's an absolute effing joke, right?
Yeah. And
got-
at Neil's.
Yeah, well, all
Where
around
they-
here, right?
yeah.
So apparently, back then, they were able to create these Christmas tree shapes of these amazing cables. And if you notice, there's never any trees around them.
No.
They knew exactly
no,
what they were doing.
no.
Whereas,
Look at the number of posts.
yeah, whereas here, it's a Australian's nightmare, isn't it? I mean, it's just crap everywhere, right? So the point being, again, as I have a slurp of a 2019 rosé, if any of this stuff is real, if any of it is real, if any of these pictures are real, undoctored, are real, there was something that they were able to do back then that they cannot do today,
No.
right?
No.
And with all this nonsense that's going on, all this 19 nonsense, you know, the first and ninth letter of the alphabet and all this rubbish and so on. Look at this, electrical installations, right? Okay, so this is a good one. Yeah, with all this 19 nonsense, guys, it ain't going to be long before you are never going to be able to detect what is real and what isn't. And they're going to be able to bamboozle people even worse. So now, I think now is the time, don't you, that people, that all are on the same path. Really, I suppose, put out the best energy you can possibly put out, because that is the only way that you are going to leave this place knowing that you were intelligent enough to see
what is going on,
what is right in front of you.
Yeah.
So let's just use this little picture as an example, right? Okay, and of course, old lovely Alamay again. Let's put this on to open this up here. By the way, I think we've discovered how to turn off the record thingy without it going on too long. So if you look at this, this is a drawing, right? So you've got your old vanilla skies here again. This is just a drawing, and they cut the back out of this here, right? Now, I don't know where this is from or whatever, right? So you've got this massive road, yeah, and these little people, okay, and horse and cars. And meanwhile, underground, in a tunnel, is a little man, right? And he's like, what's going on down here, Bob? And he's like, I won't be long, mate. We'll have a sandwich, right? And these dudes are supposed to be running cables underneath this shit, right?
Right.
And of course, like Chris would say, this is all going to be brick, perfectly flat, no bricks sticking up. Right? There's no way these people put these in. There's no way that these people built this or did any of this shit. Right? They turned up and they took over what was already there. And as you can see, even in this drawing, I'm surprised there's not a cannon on there. All the sewage and everything's in. Really, no way. Do you know? Can you imagine the undertaking if you were going to brick that bit there?
Oh,
What that would take.
Yeah.
So that's a prime example, again, of how they're able to use this kind of thing to manipulate the minds of people like my friend's mum and dad, who believe everything that they're bleeding well told, even though they're supposed to be intellectual graduates and teachers from a university, can't see what is right in front of them. But when you, like we said, when you take, look at this, what is this here? You can see this bloke's head's been pasted in. I can see it a mile off, right? Summary of electric power cable history, right? Who's that bloke there then? That looks like, who's that actor? Who's the actor who was in, oh God, you know what I mean. Right? So I don't know what this picture is or where it's from, but instantly you can tell that bloke he's been pasted into this tunnel.
Yeah, he's
this
finding
thing.
It funny, whatever.
And what's going on with his bowler hat, right? And these bricks lying around, the usual old story, right?
God.
The usual old crap, right? Look at this. I mean, there's no way that bloke is in there.
No.
Right? Look at this rubbish. It's absolute nonsense, right? But that's what they like to do, and that's how they get people to start to believe that I mean, you've got things like this. Maybe they found a way to run a few things through that were already there. But these dudes here, look at these blokes. Let's have a look at that in a bigger picture. Open image in new tab. I know this is, see, small picture again. Why is it always a small picture? Right, this bloke here, there's no way these blokes are doing this. And where is everybody else? I mean, I think that's in the Bronx there, because that looks very familiar to where I went. I would say that's in New York for sure anyway. But anyway, interesting stuff, and once you take a closer look at everything that's put out, I think you start to realise that, again, they can fake anything, and they were doing it back then. They were doing a Jim Toomey back then, and they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Just like they've always done. And like I said, you take a look at this picture, and you find some other pictures like this, and you tell me...
You come back and tell us how they did it.
How they were able to heat this place. And you've
got
got to remember as well, whilst they were building these palaces, making paintings, door handles, candelabras, candles, cooking, kitchen utensils, ranges, they were also making these outfits for men in tights and these ridiculous dresses. Now, when you look at these ridiculous dresses, can you tell me how any of those women ever sat down to go to the loo with them dresses on? And also,
yes,
on that front, what didn't they have in those buildings?
No toilets.
No toilets, Mum. They had no toilets, apparently, in these buildings, so they were able to do all this, and then the historical knobheads, along with all the other lying pieces of you-know-what, will tell us that they used to throw their pose and their mess out of the window.
No way.
No way.
No.
No way. Anyway, we thought we'd do one on this sort of stuff, and the guys and girls out there doing the old world stuff, brilliant. I mean, obviously, you've put a lot of work into these videos, and it inspired us to look at some of these things as well.
Yeah. Chris is brilliant.
Yeah, Chris is brilliant.
World exploration.
Yeah, and old Dave, he's good because he's out and about. All his stuff is out and about. John Levy, all the usual cast. But again, like we've said, is if you look at these massive buildings and you try and work out how they were able to keep them warm, but also in the summer, the temperature inside is the same all year round, no heating.
No.
Something very odd with all that. Anyway, I think that's it, isn't it?
I think so.
Now, apparently, if we press Control, Command, and Escape all at the same time, this should stop us from recording, but I bet it won't. Anyway, I think that's it, isn't it, Mum?
Oh,
we're going to have some bread and cheese and another glass of wine. Anyway, thanks guys for checking in. Love to everybody.
Au revoir.
And we'll
Till
talk.
the next time.
We'll talk to you soon.